It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Congratulations. You've reached the Amelia Project. A new life awaits. If you're not serious about this, hang up. If you continue, there's no way back. Leave your message after the beep.
Enter the offices of the Amelia Project and be ready for surprises, twists and turns. Follow the Amelia team as they help their clients fake their deaths and come back with new identities. Each episode is different. Each client coming to the death-faking agency has a unique story to tell. If death and disappearances, comedy and crime, mystery and magic sounds like your cup of cocoa, The Amelia Project is the podcast for you. Search for The Amelia Project wherever you find your podcasts. And remember, leave your message after the beep.
Hey, I'm Brooke. My friends and I perform spooky stories on our podcast 13. 13 is a movie for your ears with immersive sound design and music from our composer. And we're not reading you the same old ghost stories from Reddit. With original stories from our in-house writers and submissions from up-and-coming authors, 13 will make you smile, break your heart, and have you wishing for a nightlight. Atmospheric, slow burn, always spooky, and sometimes sexy. Our friends are some of the best voice actors and writers in our little corner of the podcast industry. So if you want to find out why those figures in black keep meeting by the water just before dawn, why you should never sleep in a room with an empty chair, or why you hear faint music echoing from the abandoned mall, join us by following 13 wherever you're listening right now. That's 13, the word, not the number, all spelled out. Bridget Howard keeps asking for my teeth. Wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, good. That's the recording running. Okay, let's get started, shall we?
Totally. I'm ready. I've got myself ready. I mean, I don't mean I'm prepared. I'm just...
It's okay. Let me just make it all totally clear. This is a police interview in relation to the death of Dr. Andrew Fairfield, and my aim is to establish accounts from everybody stationed at Bowers Wilson to gain an understanding of the circumstances surrounding his death and to establish the course of his dying. You are not suspected of committing any offence at this time, and as such you are not under arrest, and this interview is not being conducted under police caution. Do you understand all that?
Yes. Wow, yes.
Okay, so now we introduce ourselves, and that's just for the recording, okay? So this is DCI Tessa McAllister talking on the phone with...
Luca Kotze. Do you need a middle name?
No, that's fine, thanks. The time is 05:30 a.m. GMT on the 26th of June, 2023. Okay, look, as I think you know, we're trying to build a complete picture here, and we really need your help to do that.
You mean with downloading the phones?
That too, yeah, but right now what I mean is, I want to hear what you did that night, Luca.
Am I under suspicion? Are you saying
No,
I'm
no,
under...
like I said, you're not under caution. You're not suspected of anything. We just need to understand what happened.
In case... Oh, okay, I see.
Okay. Look, maybe start from the point where you finished work. Can you talk me through the night?
Okay, I finished work. I mean, I got everything I had to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
Done here.
About what time do you think that was?
I don't know, maybe 6:30, maybe 7.
Mm-hmm. Could you explain to me what you did then?
Well, I knew it was a party, a big special party, marking the top of the mountain. Thing is, I don't really like parties. Too much pressure. I'm better one-to-one, or small groups. I don't like,
Yeah, you and me both, eh?
eh,
Can you talk me through the night, Luca?
where should I start?
Let's maybe start right where you finished work, yeah?
The comms room. I cleared the tables, I turned off the lights, and I shut the door. I went back to my room. I think I stayed there a while.
Were you on your own, were you?
Yeah. What do you think I? No. Oh, okay, I see you've got to ask.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be asking a lot of questions today,
Okay.
Luca.
Yeah.
What did you do after that? I mean, when you were in your room?
I think I just killed some time, looked at stuff on my laptop, just doing nothing really. Then I realized it was time.
Time for what?
Time to go to the party. So I went.
Okay. So, what time do you think you got there?
I remember people were already eating, so maybe 7:30.
Right, you're technically a wee bit late, were you?
That was my plan. So.
Did anyone notice? I mean, you must have been one of the last to arrive, I'm presuming.
It's kind of it's what people expect. I think it's not like they're all lining up to say, "How do we start this party?" Where the hell's Luca?
No.
And maybe even they think the opposite.
I'm sure it's not like that. Listen, look, what else can you tell me about the party?
What do you want to know?
Well, like I said, I'm just really trying to build an image of the night, so I don't know, do you remember what you ate, who you sat with, any details like that?
It was some kind of pasta big thing and something green on the side. It was,
And where did you sit?
just at the end of the table, the long one. There was Jaslene and Johan and Maria, I think, and then Scott joined us.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what you talked about at all?
Wow, no, just nothing really, small talk.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then Scott suggested we play cards again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to me, he suggested it. I was hoping he would, he doesn't drink, doesn't do parties like me. But I mean, for different reasons, he said he'd clear the kitchen and then we could get going, so I waited.
Mm-hmm. And during that time, did anything happen that you think might be worth mentioning?
You mean the Drew thing?
Sure, yeah. Can you tell me about that?
Suddenly they were shouting again. I mean, everyone gets loud when they drink, so maybe it was just that.
What were they shouting about?
The same old secret recordings thing, the whole breach of trust thing.
Do you remember who was shouting the loudest?
Felipe, definitely. Victor, of course. Nearly everyone, really.
Mm-hmm. So everybody was shouting at Dr. Fairfield, were they?
Probably not everyone, but it felt like that.
Well, what about you, Luca? Were you?
I'm ashamed to say I probably said something too. Yes. I mean, I didn't stand up or anything, but...
Mm-hmm. Can you remember what it was you said?
I just wanted him to be honest, Dr. Fairfield. Sorry, it's terrible to talk about him now, say bad things, but I just wanted to know where they're recording us and where and when. It's just, I hate people lying. It makes me anxious, always has hated.
Mm-hmm. So do you believe Dr. Fairfield was lying then?
Yes.
Maybe he was just doing what Keone wanted.
Well, that's what he said, Said we should take it up with Keone.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask, how long did it last, this attack on Dr. Fairfield?
Attack is a strong word. The heated discussion lasted 5 minutes less. It's hard to know.
Okay, well, how did it end in the heated discussion?
He walked out, not long after.
Do you remember what time that was?
Yeah, I think about 9 p.m.
Okay. Can you talk me through what happened next, please?
I think someone turned up the music. Things went back to normal pretty quickly. Maria had already left, I remember.
Mm-hmm. Why did she leave, Maria? Can you remember?
There was something about her and Sienna. I didn't really hear what it was.
Yeah, well, how did you know it involved Sienna then?
Oh, Sienna shouted something at her.
Uh-huh. What was that?
Something about being uptight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the B word was used too.
The B word?
BITCH.
All right.
Don't like it, sorry.
I've heard a lot worse, Luca, don't worry. Did you know or did you see what started the argument between them?
I presume it was connected to Dr. Fairfield. I mean, Maria and him were...
Yeah, of course. But,
Yeah, okay.
but what I want to know is, how is Sienna involved?
The secret recordings thing, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know, Luca, you tell me.
That's all I know. Am I supposed to know something different?
Simply just tell me what you know.
Well, that's what I know.
Okay. And after Drew left, what did you do then?
I went into the kitchen. Scott was just about done, and then we went.
Where did you go?
We went to my room like we always do.
But you always play cards in your room, do you?
I've got a table, and there's room for a proper card table.
All right, lucky you. Do you take any food or drink with you?
Scott doesn't drink, so
But what about you?
it wouldn't be polite to sit there drinking in front of him.
Sure.
Not that I wanted to, anyway. So
Any snacks or anything?
I grabbed a crunchy.
Good choice.
Mm.
What about Scott?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think he did.
Go on, please, Luca.
Well, we sat down. We played cards.
What game did you play?
Crazy Eights. Not the most demanding, but we'd already agreed to play to 10,000. So
Was there a bet on it?
no way, not my style, not Scott's. No.
And how long did you play Crazy Eights for?
I don't know how long it was. We just went on, until we started hearing everything at around 11ish.
What do you mean by everything?
There was a noise, and then Johan was looking for Drew, and then they were going on a search, going outside, I mean.
Right. How did you find all this out, that they were going on a search, going outside?
We opened the door of my room, We couldn't see anything, so Scott went off to the bathroom. Then not long after that, Johan was running past my room. I heard noise, so stuck my head out, and he turned and said someone was missing.
Had Scott come back from the toilet at this point, or was he still in the bathroom?
Yeah, I think so. I think he went off.
Did Johan name Dr. Fairfield as the missing person?
Yeah, he must have, yeah.
And did he explain that Dr. Fairfield was out in the ice, did he?
That's why they were going, down to the locker room to go out there.
But how did they know that he was out there?
The GPS tracking devices on the coats.
Okay. And you knew these were fitted, did you, Luca?
Yeah, I had to set the app on Johan's laptop, register the codes to the system. Man, the crap.
All right. Can you explain?
It's cheap, basic Radio Shack shit. Keone are just making out the care optics. It's low-grade tech. I mean, for a military company, they should have a system that pings when someone goes off base. If they did, Drew would be alive. If they fitted the right stuff. If you have to trigger it, it's already too late.
Okay, yeah, I see.
It's just a gimmick, man. Like the heated code sounds good, does nothing, next to nothing.
It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
So let me ask, once Johan had gone past and down to the locker room, what did you do then, you and Scott?
Well, we didn't want to go on playing cards. It seemed we just didn't. Plus, I was losing, so.
So what did you do?
I went into my room, went to bed.
And what about Scott? What did Scott do?
He said he was going to go and finish clearing up, get it done.
Right. Did you see where he went?
Back towards the canteen.
You say towards?
Yeah, well, the corridor turns just along from my room. I didn't see him after that, so I thought I was supposed to just say what I know for sure.
No, you're absolutely right. Just say what you know.
Yeah.
Can I ask, did anyone else see you at this stage? Does anyone come out of their room, pop their head out, anything like that?
No one.
And you went into your room and, well then, what did you do?
But I went to bed, I didn't sleep. Thinking about Drew, it was weird. And then, what we all know now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. Look, let me just skim back through my notes, make sure I've got this all in the right order. So I have it that you went to your bedroom after work. You didn't go to the party until maybe 7:30 approximately. You ate there. You saw others pile into Dr. Fairfield about the recordings. You joined in a wee bit. Some minutes after that, Scott Williams and you went to your room to play cards, a game called Crazy Eights. You continued to play until you heard the base commander going out to look for Dr. Fairfield, at which point Mr. Williams returned to the canteen and you retired for the night. Yeah?
Presumably to the canteen. I can't say for sure.
Right, yeah,
at
of
the
course.
canteen. So.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, that's really helpful.
Can I go now?
Oh, look, I just, if it's okay, I just want to check a few other things with you, yeah?
Oh, right, yeah.
So, listen, there was an incident, I believe, earlier, in the last few weeks.
What?
I just need to clear this up, really, and be absolutely sure I'm understanding it right. I believe you were sent a written warning for your behaviour, is that correct?
That's done with, my bad.
You don't contest the allegation?
I don't contest why they thought it, why Anders thought it, but Victor, man, he was just fucking with me. Anyone can see that, but with Anders, okay, I did something stupid that let people think I was doing something else. That's my mistake.
When you say something stupid, can you elaborate on that for me, please?
He thought I was watching him.
And were you?
Probably. I know I stare sometimes. I go into my own world. I forget myself. It was a stupid thing that had been blown out of proportion, but I know when I've made a mistake and I owned it. But I do think that others ought to wise up too, if that's how we all want to play it here.
Sorry, others ought to... Sorry, who do you mean, Luca?
If we're all going to watch each other every moment, cook up crazy suspicions about people, then people who self-medicate, just for instance, they need to be careful too.
Who are these people that you're talking about? Do you have somebody specific in mind?
Johan, man. Yes, let's start with Johan, shall we? Yes, Inquisitor General himself.
Okay. So, when you say self-medicating...
Unlocking the medicine cupboard. Trousering a few blister pecs.
For himself, you mean?
I do mean.
Well, that's a serious allegation, Luca.
He's got a lot on his plate. I understand if he needs a bit of help.
Do you know which medications he was taking?
I couldn't tell.
Did you report this to anybody else? Dr. Batra, for instance?
You think I was going to take on the base commander, who was already down on me?
Well, you could have mentioned it in confidence to Dr. Batra.
No such thing. She'd have to escalate or go down with him.
Let me get this clear. Look, you're saying you witnessed this, yeah?
I was in the John, the one that's part of the surgery. He didn't know I was in there.
Sorry, can I ask, but why were you in there?
Sometimes I don't feel comfortable doing, in other places. So surgery is just along from my room. So.
Okay, so really, you shouldn't have been in there either, right?
So give me another written warning.
Now, look, I won't need to pursue this.
Maybe it's all quite normal. Maybe Jocelyn knew what Johan was doing. He has a key, except why was he getting them out on his own?
Mm-hmm. But you don't know which medications he was taking out of there, no?
I went and looked after he'd gone. You really couldn't tell.
Look, it's a shame you chose not to report this.
He hadn't signed the log, I know that. Jocelyn's was the last signature on it. I could see it propped up inside the cupboard. It's got a glass front, so...
Mm-hmm. Could these medications have not been part of Mark Rennick's regimen, though, Luca?
Sure, what do I know?
Is there not a scenario where Dr. Batra could have sent Johan to go and get them?
Absolutely.
Mr. Rennick is still under sedation, right?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of cack too.
What, the sedation?
He shouldn't be locked up like that.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think he's a danger, no?
Who are we to lock people up? We don't have that right. Man, it's against his human rights.
So you'd be happy to see him at large, would you, Luca? That wouldn't worry you, no?
The whole vibe switched the day Johan slammed him in there. It was horrible. Everything went to shit.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe how the vibe changed?
Suddenly, we all knew we were living in a police state.
Right. Explain to me what you mean by that.
This place runs, when the base is good, it's because we're all in it together. If Johan can suddenly say he can put you in prison, it's his decision. We're not together.
Yeah, but look, I've spoken to quite a few members on the base who feel it's really necessary, vital that Mark Rennick remains confined.
Sure, you get fascists everywhere. I'm a Safa, I should know.
So you don't feel Johan was making this decision because of matters of safety, is that what you're saying?
All I know is that this place went to shit the day Mark got cuffed. And now this whole thing with Drew, how do you get past that? It's a total clusterfuck, and I'm counting the days for this winter to be over.
Yeah, but you are still involved, Luca. You remain happy to take food to Mark Rennick, right? Every day?
That's the least I can do, man.
Can I ask, has anyone ever asked you for the code to the box where they keep the key to his room?
Why would they?
Just making sure I can confirm exactly who's got access.
It's just me, Jack, Maria, as we do his food, obviously Johan. Oh, and I assume Matteo.
But have you ever given it to anybody? The code?
Of course not.
Even though you think it's wrong that Mark Rennick should be locked up, no?
You think I'm going up against Johan again?
But so you haven't, I don't know, ever decided to maybe take Mark out for a wee walk, just briefly before he eats his dinner, or afterwards, stretch his legs?
No way. Johan would totally lose his shit, man.
Okay. One other thing, Luca, I've noticed that when you told me everything that you did that evening, you didn't actually mention taking supper to Mr. Rennick. You said you finished work and then you just went straight to your room.
I think I said when I'd finished everything I had to do.
You may have said that.
And taking food to Mark was just one of those things.
But was it the last thing you did?
Sometimes it is. That evening I took the food, and just as I was going along, I remembered something I'd forgotten to do.
What was that?
Matteo had asked me to set up his laptop for the new Keone file sharing system. I kept forgetting to do it. So he was getting sharp about it, so I realized I just had to go back and do it.
So how much time did you spend with Mr. Rennick that evening?
Almost none. He was out of it.
In what way?
Not asleep, but he might as well have been.
Wait, you mean sedated?
That plus, you spend all day on your bed in one room, everyone's going to turn into some kind of zombie. Might as well sleep.
Was he always like that, Luca? Not able to converse.
It'd been getting worse, I noticed. Before we'd been chatting, that week before, almost never.
Did you ever report that to anybody?
As if.
You weren't worried that he was deteriorating? You didn't feel like his health might be suffering?
Of course his health is suffering. He just needs to get out of here on the first plane in, and then Keone better look after him. Really look after him. They owe him, big time.
Yeah, well, he may not want to be on the first flight.
Man, he will.
We'll have to repatriate Dr. Fairfield on that flight, Luca.
See? Clusterfuck or what?
Okay. Well, look, I think that's going to be fine for the moment.
You mean you're going to want to talk again?
Yeah, maybe.
Right, okay.
Oh, and listen, I need to thank you for doing everybody's phones for us.
If you only demand it, I do it.
Actually, I noticed we don't have your data yet.
No. I'm not doing it.
Right. Where's that?
My rights, my human rights, I got a right to privacy.
Okay. That makes things a wee bit difficult.
My data is mine.
Yeah, but you're happy to send other people's.
That's their decision, nothing to do with me.
It'll all be treated in confidence, Luke. You of all people know that.
No.
Okay. Yep. Okay. No, I understand. Right, well, thanks for doing everybody else's then.
Isn't everyone? I know some other people are refusing.
Yep, you're right. Sorry. Thanks for doing the ones that you've done.
No worries.
Okay, look, one last thing I need to ask. Are you left or right-handed?
Why?
We're just asking everybody.
I am right-handed, like 90% of the world.
Okay, great. Right. Thanks, Luca. I'm going to end the interview now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, the time is 05:51 a.m. GMT on the 26th of June, 2023.
Get all the files now. Sign up at coldtapes.com and go ad-free.
It strikes her in the gloom so fast she barely has time to scream. She falls into the edge of the lamplight and lies there, bleeding, motionless. The man's skin is scaly, flaking, and there are patches of soot on his cheeks. He's one of them. I turn and run, and I don't look back.
The Road of Shadows. Listen now at theroadofshadows.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.